What we're going to do is we're going to start graphing statistics, and our first graph that we're going to look at is a dot plot. Usually dot plots are a number line, and either we put a dot or an X right above it, and those represent how many of those types of numbers. But the key thing that we're going to focus on is describing distributions. We use the acronym SOX, which talks about the shape of the distribution, the outliers of the distribution, the center of the distribution, and the spread of the distribution. The shape is something that is probably new. The other ones most students have heard before. We have three main shapes that we're going to be focusing on. One would be skewed right. And something that's skewed right, what it's happening is that the skewness, or how it's spread out, is going to be more on the right hand side. So an example of a skewed right distribution would be this one right here. And then for the next one, what we have is approximately symmetric. Exactly symmetric means that it's going to be perfectly symmetric. So when we're talking about approximately symmetric, what we're doing is we're talking about something that might be off by one. It's not perfectly symmetric. And then the last one that we're going to look at is skewed left. And a skewed left distribution, similar to a skewed right, is our distribution is going to be more spread out on the left-hand side, and that's what makes it skewed left. Now, when we're making our dot plot, what we're going to do is we're going to draw our straight line. We're going to start with the least value, which is 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're going to end it with our last one. We're going to put a dot above each one. 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're going to use SOX to describe the distribution. So we have our shape, we have our outliers, we have our center, and we have our spread. Now, our shape, what we're going to do is we're going to look at this, and it looks almost identical. So we're going to say approximately symmetric. Outliers is going to be none. An outlier is going to be something that deviates far away from the rest of the data. So if we had something right here at like 12, that would be an outlier. Center, there's three different centers: the mean, median, and mode. The only one that we're going to talk about today is going to be the mode, and that's the one that occurs the most. So what we're going to do is we're going to put mode, and the number that occurs the most is going to be 5. And the spread, there's three different spreads. We're talking about the range, the standard deviation, and the IQR. The one that we're going to focus on today is the range. We take the maximum minus the minimum. So we're going to put range, and what we have is 8 minus 2, which is 6. So for letter B, we're going to do the same thing. What we're going to do is we're going to draw our number line, and we're going to start with our least value, which is 6, and our greatest value is 19. So we have 6, and we're going to continue. And we're going to put dots above each one. So we have 14, we have 19. Oops, I forgot the 19. We have 6, we have 13, we have 16, we have 17, we have 15, we have 14, we have 17, we have 18, we have 18 again, we have 17, and we have 18 again. So when we're describing our distribution, what we have is we have our shape, we have our outliers, we have our center, and we have our spread. So our shape is going to be skewed left because it's more spread out on the left-hand side. Outliers, there would be 6 would be our outlier. Center, we're going to use the mode. That's the one that occurs the most. There's actually 2 modes, so technically it's called bimodal because there's 2 of them. If there's 3, we would call it trimodal. The spread, once again, we're going to use the range. Make sure that for the center and the spread, you're actually naming which ones that you're doing. And so what we do is we take our 19 minus 6, which of course is 13. So for the next one, once again, what's different about these is if we're looking closely at the numbers, what we see is that it's going by 5s. So we see that our least value would be 75 and our greatest value 180. So I'm going to go by 5s, but I'm going to start at 70, and then instead of writing each little mark, I'm just going to go by 10s, and then I have 5s in the middle, and that just saves me a little bit of time since if we're looking at this, notice how spread out it is. And this is one of the problems with a dot plot is that when the numbers are spread out, it's kind of a difficult graph to really pick up. The best times to use a dot plot would be when there's a small amount of data and then when the data is really close. So notice this is really not the greatest set of data to use a dot plot for because it takes up a lot of space. And so we're going to put a dot above each of the numbers. So what we have is we have 75, we have 85, we have 95, we have 85 again, we have 80, we have 105, we have 95 again, we have 120, 125, we have 180, 135, 140, and 115. So we're going to start off with our shape, and our shape is going to be skewed right because it's more spread out on the right-hand side. Our outlier would be 180. Our center would be our mode, and it's bimodal. Once again, so it's 85 and 95. And then for the spread, what we have is the range. So that would be 180 minus 75, which would be 105. Okay. Now looking at letter D, we're going to do the same thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with our lowest, which is 47. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to our largest, which is 61. So we have 47, 48, 49, So we're going to put a dot at the 47, and then 54. We have 58. We have 61. We have 59. We have 56. We have 57. We have 59. We have 60. We have 58. We have 59 again. We have 60. And we have 59 again. So when we're looking at our shape, it's going to be skewed left. And then outlier would be 47. And then what we have is our center, and that would be a mode of 59. This one's easy to see. And then what we have is our spread. And once again, what we're doing is we're using our range. And that would be 61 minus 47. And that answer would be 14. So our last one. This one, when we're looking at it, what we notice is that it's going by twos. So we'll go by twos. We see that our least value is 102. No, actually 100. And our greatest value is 112. Oh, nope, 120. So we're going to start off at 102. And we'll go by twos. And so we have 102, 104, 112, 110, 108, 100. Oh man, missed 100. And I even said it. And 102 again, 104, 106, 102, 104, and 120. So when we're looking at our shape, we see that it's skewed right because it's more spread out on the right-hand side. And our outliers would be just 120. Our center, it's bimodal again. We're going to put the mode, and it is 102, 104. And then what we have is our spread. And we're going to use our range, which is 120 minus 100, which would give us, of course, 20.